Good afternoon. Today is Thursday, March 27th, 2025. It is 4 o'clock in the afternoon Central Time, and we're coming to you live from Reddy Neumann Brown's office in Houston, Texas, to talk about the H-1B lottery. Selection notices have started arriving. Stephen, what do you got so far?
Yeah, so I made a prediction. We kind of figured it was going to happen today, tomorrow, at worst Saturday morning. And I put up a thing on Twitter today. It's opening day for baseball. That's why we're both wearing Astros jerseys. And I said, Astros first pitch is at 3:10. I bet you we see it in the at around that time. I had my USCIS account open, clicked refresh here in the second inning, and sure enough, had a selection notice, and we wanted to go live and let everybody know. Now, Emily, we've got one, maybe two in our office. This is far from over. This is the beginning. They upload them in batches. So figured let's go live. Kind of everybody is going to be stressing out that's going through this process and answer some questions that people tend to have.
Yeah. So the interesting thing, which happened last year as well, is nobody got an email. So we normally get an email notification from USCIS just telling us something has happened in our account and to log in to see what it is. Nobody got an email this time, so we just were logging in, and a couple of attorneys in our office have received notices of the selection. And it just changes the status in the system, and then there's a little button you click on to download it. So this year's registration selection notices basically look like they did last year. They are dated March 27th, 2025 is the notice date. It will specify the company name. It will have tax ID number of the company, the employee's name, date of birth. It says the beneficiary of this registration was selected. It provides the confirmation number. It specifies whether they were selected under the regular cap or the advanced degree exemption or master's cap. It confirms that you can file the H-1B petition between April 1st and June 30th. Confirms that this time around we have to go to the USCIS website to find the I-129 addresses for filing instead of telling us on the notice where to file at. And it confirms that it's only available for that particular beneficiary. So as Stephen said, this is just the beginning. So please don't worry if you haven't gotten yours yet. I have gotten 0 in my account, and I'm not worried at all. I know they're coming, but we just wanted to let people know that it has started, so you can keep an eye out for it. Usually, at least, so we've had this electronic system since 2020.
Yes, 2020 was the first year. Yeah.
Gone by fast, 5 years. And so typically we'll see them come in starting on a Thursday before around March 31st. And then they come in Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And usually it's done on Monday, but they don't announce anything till later, sometimes Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the following week. And again, it does take time for attorneys, companies to log into their account, to go through the whole list and see who was selected and who wasn't, to download those selection notices. For those working with attorneys, it takes time for the attorney to notify the company. So you may have been selected, but just haven't heard anything yet from your attorney or the company, simply because it does take time and effort to go into the system. And attorneys have large numbers of batches that they do for different companies. So it's not a super fast process. We do understand that it is a nerve-wracking wait and try to get that information out to people as quickly as possible, but appreciate your patience as we go through those and send out notifications as soon as we can. So what other things should people be aware of this time around?
I think most of this is going to be business as usual. Everything nothing has changed really on this. We're going to file the petitions, do the I-129. You'll have from April 1st to June 30th to file that petition with USCIS. The big change this year, Emily, that I think is important to note is cap gap. In the past, cap gap was, ended on October for September 30th, excuse me. Timely file the petition for the change of status if they're selected. The selection notice does nothing for CapGap. You have to file the petition. But now with the new regulation, CapGap can go until April. They've determined like 98% of the cases are adjudicated by then. That's really the big difference. In the past, we got to make sure we do it in premium maybe. Now, still worth watching, right? When does your OPT expire? Because you have to apply for the H-1B before the expiration. But so far, nothing crazy. But again, like I said, we're just getting these in. I have one. I expect that number to increase. But we know people are watching this. When is it going to come?
Yeah, I think one other interesting change this year is the fact that H-1B beneficiaries who own the company can kind of sponsor themselves. Basically, they can have their own company sponsor them. So we did have some of that in our clients this year, and I'd be curious to see how many others are the same. I don't think there's any way to track it, but I'm just wondering how that's going to impact the overall number that were submitted. As far as the number of registrations submitted, we really have no way of knowing. I'm expecting it to be similar as last year based on
Yeah,
what we're seeing. I don't know your thoughts on that.
I've been kind of tracking what people have been predicting. There is a little bit of an influx economically. Last year we had 479,953. I think you're right. I think we'll be around that point, maybe a little less. But the fee is a little higher. Maybe that's a thing that people are, in the past they're like, well, maybe this person, was going to get their green card before, so we don't really need it. But let's put them through the lottery just in case. $10, $215. Maybe they're making a different decision. But again, I think we'll see the number about the same. But we'll know.
Yeah.
We won't know even Monday, I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like last year it took quite a while before they published the actual numbers. And the year before that, it took months before we got the final numbers on how many people were actually registered. We did have a question that came in from RK on YouTube. Do you ever see them going to a system where the candidate, the H-1B beneficiary, can put in their own information and see whether they're selected or not? I think that would be super helpful, but I don't see it happening.
I don't think without a change to the INA, right? I mean,
Yeah.
right now, the Immigration and Nationality Act has H-1B as a completely employer-driven process. Until they kind of change that, I don't think they're going to go to a beneficiary, enter their own, and be like, I got selected, now take it to an employer.
Yeah. Another question, if someone's not selected, is it too early to start thinking about alternates? Is there a chance of a second lottery? I know it's hard to say without any idea how many submissions there were, how many petitions or registrations they actually selected. I think it's probably too early
It's
to
way,
start
yeah,
thinking of backup plans.
I mean, look, I think it's smart to think ahead. I think there's nothing wrong with that. In terms of a second lottery, I mean, I even come June 30th when we submit all of our petitions, I won't know. That just is going to be based off of what USCIS receives. So I don't know if we'll see one. It doesn't hurt to start looking at second options if you aren't selected, but I don't think today is the day to start panicking or thinking anything. Again, I have one selection. I think we've got a couple more hanging around our office. That number's going up probably after we finish the live. So just hang tight on that. If come, Monday, Tuesday, you don't have a selection, I would start looking at other options. But in terms of a second lottery, that's just going to have to be something that happens.
Yeah, we do expect to continue to receive selection notices over the weekend. We have in the past years. So we will be updating our employers Monday, Tuesday of the selections, but it does take time. So even if you haven't heard back from your attorney or company yet on Monday or Tuesday, give them some time to get into the system and download them all. It's not the most user-friendly system. It doesn't allow you to just download them all, or it doesn't put them in any kind of useful order or sorting. So you kind of have to dig a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's a question I see pop up a lot on, Reddit or on Twitter is, when is my employer going to know, or what are they going to tell me? I mean, just keep in mind, depending on the law firm they're working with or anything, it takes a lot of time. You do have to download these individually. The one I downloaded today, I will re-download probably Tuesday because I will forget, have to go find it again for our team to upload. So, it's not an efficient system, and especially when we're talking about volume. I mean, there's 85,000 of these at least, and probably more based off of, how many they've got to get downloaded individually, emailed out. So just hang tight. I wouldn't stress too much if by Monday morning you haven't been informed, because that's just how it's going to be.
A question that came in from Nixie. I still have 3 years left on my L1A, approved I-140 under EB1C. My company filed the H-1B. If it gets selected, is it worth moving to H-1B since you have 3 years left on L1A? It very likely might be worth it. If anything, it gives you more options in the event of a future job loss, because the H-1B is more easily transferable to other companies versus an L1, which is not transferable at all. I mean, I just had a consultation today with someone in this exact situation, who is expecting to be terminated from their L1 employer. If they were on an H-1B, they could easily switch to another employer. So yeah, I do think it can be useful to make that switch, even if you think you have enough time left on the L1.
Yeah, I think so too. Just worth taking a look. So, just to summarize for those of you that are just joining in, we have started seeing H-1B selection notices coming in. This is the very beginning of the registrations selections. I mean, USCIS, I think, has to upload each of them individually, it feels like. Employers and attorneys are not getting the email yet. I feel like it's kind of like last year where we pulled them down and then each evening or the next morning we got the email saying we've taken action. We happened to just check my USCIS account today and saw it. Say nothing really changed. I mean, the 90-day window. Emily and I will be doing a webinar in early April for companies and individuals that have questions about the petition filing side. So, join our social media to get information on that and register. We hope to see you there. But again, this is the tip of the iceberg. We're not done. We're not part way. We're maybe 1% through getting uploaded.
All right. Well, thanks, Stephen, for your time today. Thanks, everyone who joined. And we will, of course, keep you updated through our YouTube and various social media channels. And you can always sign up for our newsletter by going to rnlawgroup.com. And that way you'll get updated on all of our articles that we put out every week as well.